Hello, it's Ian Cunningham from H&H Classic Auctions, one of the bike specialists. We're here again at the National Motorcycle Museum for the summer auction. 3 auctions a year, we go spring, summer, autumn, so this is the middle one. First bike you'll see here when you walk through the door, Brough Superior SS100, still one of the most desirable collectible bikes in the world. Identifying record prices when they go to auction. Lots of information about that online if you want to read up about it. As you look around the entrance foyer, all Italian bikes on the other side now. Essentially Ducatis, obviously lots of red bikes for Italian bikes. There's also a Bimoto, a couple of Moto Guzzis, an Aprilia, a little MV Agusta, so some interesting bikes to look at. If you look at these first 3 here, Ducati, obviously very famous now for motorbike racing. They dominate World Superbike racing and MotoGP. These are all replicas of historic moments in Ducati's racing history. Starting off, if you look at the silver one with the green frame, that's a Paul Smart replica. In 1972, they raced at Imola with a 750V twin, won the race, and that really set them on the path for world domination eventually. That looks very similar to the bike it would have rode in the day, same colour scheme, but with a more modern engine in there. The one in the middle, another very historic victory, 1978, I think it was, Mike Aylward won the TT on a comeback ride. And again, after the event, they did a replica of that bike. So the colour scheme and everything is just the same as Mike's bike from that era. The other one that's a replica is this one here. One of the most iconic Ducati bikes is the 916 Ducati. Carl Fogarty won 4 World Championships using this bike or a bike like this over the years. This is a Foggy replica, probably about 1995, I would say. I've not seen the date on it actually, but probably around 1995. So 3 nice replicas there celebrating Ducati's racing history. Carry on round the room then, again an early mid-70s, early 70s 900 twin. Very sought after, the 900 Desmos. That's another sort of tribute bike. It's younger than it looks. That's probably around 2000-ish, but a tribute to the older bikes, much like that model there. Another Paul Smart replica, again, other Ducatis, another Mike Aylward replica. There we have a Moto Guzzi, Aprilia, Moto Guzzis, other Italian bikes. The one in the middle there, the red and white one, the Bimoto, very rare bike. Bimoto was an Italian firm who developed their own frames using generally Japanese engines. So this is an HB3, so that would mean it's an Honda Bimoto. It's the 3rd Bimoto they made, so they use that numbering system. So an Honda CB engine in a very well-crafted and made Italian frame with all the best components, Brembo brakes, look like Paolo forks. They probably only made it's something like 200 or 300 of these. Every Bimoto is rare. They were always a rare bike. Handmade, very expensive in the day and very collectible now. So going into the main room now, the main ballroom at the venue. Just to your right here, quite a number of Harley Davidsons. Over the years again, early 30s right through to more modern day bikes. Harleys always look the same. Even the youngest bike has a Springer front fork, so it looks quite old. One thing that we're saying Harleys, it's not actually an Harley Davidson. This one here is actually made by a firm called Ultra, using components that was probably developed for Harley Davidson to the point where you can make a full bike out of components. So quite an incredible looking thing, fantastic specification. Again, lots of information about that online if you go on the website. So again, when you're coming through the main door of the auction room, just to your left there, you'll see a lineup of Vincents. We've actually got 5 Vincents in 5000cc V twins, 4 Black Shadows actually, and 1 Rapide. Black Shadows, everything from something that you could jump on and ride, electric starter, 12-volt electrics, improved brakes and suspension, to something like this one here that's actually literally a barn find that had to be dug out of a barn a few weeks ago after being in hibernation for about 40 years. Just facing them, on the other side, we've separated out essentially Tritons. Classic Norton featherbed frame Triumph engine. Again, different specifications, different variations. Some have got 750 top ends on, but some very nice bikes there to look at. The one in the middle here, number 264, was actually built by Dresdner, who are like the home of Tritons, really. Dave Deegan's firm would have built that. One at the end, a bit of a cross between the two. We've just had Vincent's over there. That's actually, again, a Norton frame, this time with a Vincent engine in it, so it becomes a Norvin. Again, read up about that online because there's a lot of specification on there. That bike has been developed over the last 20 or 30 years into something that is quite incredible. So again, in the main room, lots of British bikes as we normally get. A full lineup of Gold Stars here. We've got 500s, 1350, touring spec, clubman spec, some with later carburetors to make them more rideable. So a full selection of Gold Stars, other BSAs facing there behind. As we cross over here then, we get to the Norton section. Really nice Dominator here. Again, one of the nicest ones I've ever seen that. Quite a good colour scheme for its day, quite an ambitious colour scheme for its day, so that's a nice thing to look at. The back line is more Commandos and one Commander, which is the rotary engine Norton. Again, as we travel through the room, we come to quite a lot of Triumphs. We always have a lot of Triumphs, Silver Jubilee, Bonneville. This little section here, some nice 1950s, late 40s Triumphs. Speed Twins and Thunderbirds, 3 or 4 of them, I think they're all sprung ups actually, so obviously quite dated, but quite desirable as well. This one here, Bonneville, classic early 60s Bonneville, still one of the most iconic names in motorcycling. Again, in very nice order, very well presented, so a sort of bike you could get on and ride quite well. Younger Triumphs down here, going into the later 70s, later 60s, 70s, and also then quite a selection of new Triumphs, Inkley Triumphs building up. So a couple of twins, in fact, yes, they're all twins I think, apart from the 955 here, that's 3-cylinder. Obviously, we say younger Triumphs, they've still got a bit of age behind them, and these are coming on strong now. So at the far end of the room, big selection of Japanese bikes. We're seeing more and more of these in the auctions nowadays. First section is all Hondas, quite a good choice again from NT30s. A couple of Honda Britain Phil Reed replica bikes down there, which are always sought after. A couple of race replica colour schemes, Rothmans and Repsol there. Very nice Fireblade. Again, going to be one of the future classics is that one, so that looks fantastic, really well presented, really well restored actually that. Tyres in new, everything, so it's like buying a new bike is that one. As you go across the room, line of Kawasaki's down here. Actually, not all Kawasaki, there is a Bridgestone here. Very rare bike, the 350 Bridgestone. Made in the late 60s by Bridgestone, the company that are more famous for tyres. Did make motorbikes, eventually got out of it because they concentrated on their core business, the tyre business. But fantastic bike in its day and still a good performer now. Absolutely outstripped everything in its day, did that one. That's a well-featured bike. It's been featured in a few magazines, is that, over the years. Other Kawasaki's, essentially 4 cylinders down here. Various shapes and sizes. Just on there, a selection of Yamahas. Bit of everything, 2-stroke twins, 200cc twin there. 1100cc for the Midnight Special there. Little DT50 that will get people excited. That's the sort of bike that a lot of people would have had as their first bike when they were 16. Technically a moped, so a lot of people would have started the motorcycling on them. Finally, around this section, the Suzuki section. This one here, first glance looks like a pretty standard GS1000, but pretty well nothing is. It's GSXR engine in an aluminium frame that's been handmade. The more you look at it, the better it looks really. Brembo brakes, all in suspension. Absolutely fantastic specification on that bike. Couple of GSXRs, the Headbanger Special really, the GSXR, classic blue and white Suzuki colours. Finally here, Katana, that would have been a 1000cc in its day. Again, much like the other one at the far end there, it's had a fortune spent on it, one man's really labour of love. It's done all sorts of work on it, new suspension, better brakes, Dimag wheels, 1260cc engine, Mikuni flat slide carbs, really nice monoshock conversion on the bike that looks like a factory job, so a lot of the work he's done is factory standard. Again, great specification. Lots of information online about that on our website. There's actually a 47-page dossier on a memory stick of all the processes he went through to get it to that state. So we're in the side room, just off the main room. Down the right hand side we've a fascinating selection of small Italian bikes, some of which, if I'm being honest, I'd not heard of myself. So the Italians made some beautiful small bikes, and the more you look at some of the workmanship and the engineering, they are beautiful little things. Lots of stuff down there, a lot of them I think are no reserve, so they're worthwhile coming and looking at. Rest of the room is essentially Gurdie Fork bikes, pre-war bikes, and from everywhere, all around the world. Harley Davidson there. Douglas is always fascinating with the fore and aft engine. Really a bit of everything. Some of these bikes are dating back over 100 years. Two little bikes there, the green ones, the Ixion, they stand out with the colour scheme. If you can see the registration numbers, the consecutive registration numbers, they actually sold new many years ago to two sisters who ran the bikes for a number of years, stayed essentially in the same family all their life. And we've even put them side by side here. It's the same to like separate them, been together so long. Whilst you're in this room, if you are coming to the auction, all the documentation is in this room. So if you go to the desk over there, you'll see lots of files and you can go over there and check the documentation on each bike. If you do need to register to bid or anything else, the desk down there, if you look bidder's registration, that's where you will go to register yourself as a bidder to get a bidder's card. So we're in the final room now. This doubles up as a cafe as well. So if you come down to the auction tomorrow, come in this room, have a look at what we've got here. It's essentially projects, quite a lineup of projects, most of which are at no reserve. The other line just across the front there, competition bikes, everything really, trials, enduro, motocross, road racing. Again, some projects there as well. So it's well worthwhile to look in this room. Look over the other side, it's quiet now, but tomorrow you'll be able to get coffee, teas and coffees, cold drinks, snacks. So it's well worthwhile coming and have a look around this room. So the auction is tomorrow, 3rd of July. We kick off at 12 o'clock this time, early start than normal, so make sure you're aware of that. Plenty of parking outside, so if you come here, there's no trouble parking. Come in early, we open the doors at 9. You can view the bikes and the paperwork. Like I said, the auction kicks off at 12. It'll be all afternoon with 238 lots altogether, so it's going to be a long day. If you can't make it to the auction, you can watch the auction online, you can bid online, you can book a telephone bid or put in a commission bid. There's a lot more information about this on our website at www.hnh.co.uk. So yeah, I'd love to see you tomorrow. It's always better coming in person if you can and see the bikes in person. If not, join us online. But yeah, look forward to seeing as many people as possible tomorrow.